Peace, family. This is Mass Kwesi checking in with you from the Gambia. I wanted to get here and do a video and talk about why we are not being successful here on the continent. And I don't want to say, just Gambia. Why aren't we being successful here in the Gambia? Because you're pretty much seeing here in the Gambia what you'll see anywhere on the continent when you have diaspora. And what I mean by that is that we're coming from a background or countries where we express a lot of materialism, a lot of individualism, and all the other isms that are a part of those societies in the West that we're looking to escape from. However, that's following us here because that's a part of our programming. So I think our biggest threat to our survival here is our lack of the ability to practice group economics. Now, that's one of the areas that I really focus on in terms of my content. If we're not working together, if we're not spending our money together, then we're pretty much, we're a part of the problem. We continue to be a part of the problem. The problem of being just a consumer. On top of that, with this consumer mentality, you have a lot of individualism, and you have a capital mindset. So you have the same thing in the U.S. where people are out and they're in competition with one another in our community, with business, in their social environments, and we're not looking at a collective plan. You know, uh, this is something that have to be talked about, and this is something that have to be put together. We are working. We are working. Now we're doing it differently because we see that the propensity for negative is greater in our community than it is for right and balance. There's a lot of things that need to be put in place. A lot of safety guards, a lot of safety nets that need to be put in place to stop the spread of our Western values in these societies that we're coming into these communities and these cultures and these countries that we're coming into. There have to be something that regulates, our activities and our content, even our media. We've seen that. We've seen YouTube play a huge part in the I can't say it any other way, the destruction of millions and millions of dollars of inward investment, tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions. The year of return in Ghana by itself brought in $1 billion into the Ghanaian economy. All right. Last year, this little smallest country in Africa had a tremendous drama that curbed a lot of inward investment, meant a lot of people's desire to come over because they don't want to deal with negative. But that's a part of our community. That's how we do. That's our MO. We don't have to, for a small group of us, we want to come together, create an economic foundation in terms of what we need, our basic needs: food, clothing, and shelter. I see a lot of brothers, a lot of people are coming over here and they're not living well, they're not surviving well because they're by themselves. If we're together to a degree, it's not for everybody. We understand that. Most of our endeavor should be towards, the youth population, women empowerment, and, here on the continent. That way we won't have this, these types of, within our community, the diaspora, it's a lot of division. You got people in the UK against people in the UK. You got people in the US against people in the US. You got people in the UK against people in the US. and you got the sisters against the brothers and the brothers against the brothers. You know, that same mentality, all of this stuff that you all been watching. No one has come out in the situation outside of the Exodus Alliance as well as Shekinah Shindu. You guys got to be careful what you watch. I think over the last year, we've learned a valuable lesson in who we should trust. Most of the people that was involved in all of that nonsense, their whole character fell apart over the last 12 months. The major conspirator, we're not going to go into that. We're going to leave that alone. Shortly, you know, everyone will be absolutely clear on what took place, and then we all can move forward from that. But what that allowed us to do is it woke us up to the reality that what we have to do it covert. We have to do it covert. We can't be out there. We got to do things behind the scenes. We got to do our meetings behind the scenes because we don't want everybody at our meetings. You know, half the people that are over here that would probably come to the meeting would interrupt and disturb the meeting to some degree with their own ideas and things, and not really a collective motivation. You know, however, that is happening. There's tremendous opportunity over here on the ground, you know, with Africans and other foreign nationals. You know, there's businesses out there that exist. We just don't have to depend on one market. You know, we go out there and we have products and services that serve a whole, you know, market, a total market. You know, appliances, furniture, you know, vehicles. Right now, we have about 8 businesses that that was separate from what we were doing here that we're managing. You know, so the opportunity exists. So what we need to do, anybody that's here on the ground, you have my email, kwesiboyd@yahoo.com. We're actually organizing because we have to. We just can't come over here. Everyone's divided. It's not a good situation. It's building anti-diaspora, anti-American, anti-UK sentiment here because we're not participating and we're not doing what we need to do here. In fact, we're causing the most drama, bringing the most drama into the country. Just a few people. We can't let a few people ruin all the goodness that's coming from those who are coming over here. We can't sit back and say, hey, that's not going to affect us. It's most definitely going to affect us because those few people, they have media, they have audiences. So we need to create content that offset that negative and even drown it out. We need to support organizations like the Exodus Alliance, you know, Brother RJ, Sister Ya, you know, Brother Fode, who put their reputation on the line, who came to help the community. When they saw, as Brother RJ said, you know, you can look in the mediation video. I did a shorter version. You know, when they saw that there was threats of violence being put out there. You know what I mean? Like this was something like we in Chicago, like we in Atlanta. You know, nobody ever seen all of this stuff in the Gambia here amongst diaspora. The type of negative that was coming because of individuals here, as you all know, and individuals that came over. And then the overwillingness of our people just to, you know, the content creators who want to profit. You don't, most of the ones that eared all of that nonsense, you don't see them living here. They're just out there telling a narrative about something that they really don't have a full understanding of, nor do they have any consequence that would take place if anything would happen here. Let me repeat that. Those content creators that are out there creating all of this, promoting this negative, right? Okay, if something come out, you can promote it. But when the tide starts to change, make sure you promote that as well. All right? Don't promote one side and then try to, you know, and then when things change and the truth come around, you don't want to promote that. We already know some people are just negative, some just haters. They just hate to see, you know, the glory of our freedom because they have Western mentality, and they'll go to the extent of creating whole channels around trying to spread gossip about the movement. That's no one that you should put any faith and trust in at all. You know, you got to use your eyes, your 2 eyes. You got to use your ears. So what we need to do is focus on grassroots, development, organization, food, clothing, and shelter, houses, land development, all of these things we are doing. Anybody that's out there that's been in contact with me, you have my information. We're moving forward. We've learned a valuable lesson amongst our people. It should be a wake-up call, but we can't not be here saying, hey, let me just keep my distance. Let me just be by myself. I don't want to deal with nobody from America. I mean, we have to work together to a degree. We all don't have to be in the same house, but we need to be. If we have one store and we're bringing all of our stuff in one container, we have someone come in and with their stuff, and they go through your stuff. They'll take some of your stuff out of there if it's not absolutely secure. They'll take a lock. They'll cut the lock off when you get it. The lock not there. I got some barrels the other day. Things weren't there. We need our own container. We need our own containers coming in from the West. So if it's 10 of us and we're getting product from the West, at least we can, or 5 of us, at least we can get a store and we can support the rest of the people, because all of the stuff over here is faulty. You're gonna have it for a short period of time before it start glitching and breaking apart. So we have to be able to bring in our own products that we need at a basic level. So as far as us here as a community, I've been out, I've been seeing a few people, and it's unfortunate that the meeting place for diaspora is in one of these Lebanese business. We're meeting each other at Alibaba, we're meeting each other at today's mini market, we're meeting each other at Right Choice, bumping into each other. You understand what I'm saying? And there's no place, there's no store that we can go in and we can bump into each other while we practice group collect economics. There's a lot of capitalism over here. People that are coming from the West coming over here with those same business models, but those business they didn't work in the West. They're not going to work here. We chasing it the wrong way. We have to, like I said, address things that we don't want to address. And it's not for everybody, because some people are just built as this corporate, these corporate demons, these Western, devils, and they don't want to change the way that they do things. And those type of people, they'll run their course. They won't stay here long. They're coming and they're going back. You can't just jump over here for the first time without having understanding and then try to put your mentality on a whole culture. You have to sit back. You have to come over here and sit back, and you have to learn the culture. You have to be humble. You have to be humble. You have to learn the culture, or we'll be seen as, invaders, as we're being seen, invaders. Most of these people creating this YouTube content, man, they don't have good in them at all. They're only about themselves, only about their business. They're following the blueprint from, YouTubers that preceded them, being that they can get a little audience and get people calling them and things like that. They can make a sale off of you. You understand? We never did that in our dynamic. If you don't know by now, you will know very soon that everything that came through had a perfect paper trail, and it didn't go. Definitely nothing was stolen. There was no scam. None of that. If you don't know by now, if you haven't heard the Exodus Alliance, and Brother RJ said, hey, be prepared for it to be other than what you thinking it is. And that's so sad that we have to, prepare our people for the truth, because we rather see our brother and sister in a negative light. We got to prepare them for the truth. Prepare yourself. And a lot of this could have